Our next guest is a famous feast from our screens, has taken centre stage on the West End and accomplished author as well.
But now Joe Pasquale is returning to his roots as he prepares to hit the road with his latest stand-up tour. How exciting is this?
It's very exciting. Can I say, I've been here for a couple of hours. In the green room, there's a lot of chocolate. I've eaten far too much chocolate.
No, you haven't.
I have loads of chocolate. I'm feeling a bit bilious now. Already, I'm feeling bilious. And because I get very excited being on live telly as well, because what you see is what you get in live telly, and I just don't want to burp, because I might burp. If I do a chocolate burp, it's not going to be good.
Well, we're standing right back.
No, you just stay there. And what I really like is behind here. There's still got this behind here. It's very white. I love it. Someone's left it here.
Hang on a second. What, are you stealing that from me? I had my eyes on that.
No, do you know what it is?
Yeah, I know what it is.
I washed my son's white socks in with a pink dress, and all his socks now are pink. So I thought, I better take that home and get that sorted out.
I won't nick it. I'll let you have it. Can I just have one sachet later?
Yeah, I'll give you a sachet now. Tell us about the tour while I'm giving you a sachet.
I start next week in Epsom, but I know it's old news now, but thank you, love. But COVID, I've got a mint tea bag in my pocket I nicked downstairs, so it's a spot. So, basically, I know it's old news about COVID, you know, but when I didn't do nothing for 2 years.
Yeah.
And in that 2 years, I was just a bloke at home in his pants, because I live on my own, and for wandering about, because I'm so active normally, and all of a sudden, I'm just a bloke. What am I doing? And without that outlet in my personality, what is it that defines me?
It gives you purpose, doesn't it?
Yeah, it did, and I didn't do anything. I just sat there eating.
So did you not know, like, who you was?
No, it's exactly it. And then at the excuse me, towards the end of the lockdown, Lee Mead phoned me up, and he was doing a gig at the London Palladium. And he said, "Joe, I'm doing a big show at the London Palladium. Do you want to come and do a warm-up for me?" And I said, "Yes, straight away. Yes, I've not done it for 2 years." Put the phone down, and then I bottled it. I thought, I haven't done this for 2 years. Oh. What happens if I get out there, and not that I couldn't remember what I used to do, but what happens if I can't remember who I used to be when I'm out there? Because that part of my personality hadn't been used. Because, yeah, we've all got different parts. That bloke that you are on telly now isn't who you are at home all the time. Same, well, you're the same all the time, right? But... You know, what if I get out there?
No, but I know what you mean, though. We're not all exactly the same.
No,
there is a quiet version of us. Believe it or not, there is a quiet version of us.
There is a small one, though. But if I get out there and that bloke don't turn up and it's me doing it, what am I going to do? And I was petrified. It was like going back to the first gig I ever did. And when I get out there, and it was very strange. It was like I was watching from inside my head. I was looking at myself outside, and when I started the gig, it all came back. It was like putting a coat on. It just came back.
It's who you are.
Very weird thing. It was just muscle memory, but I didn't know if it was actually going to turn up. But it was fantastic to get back. So, which is why I'm going back to doing stand-up now. I start next week, and I love it. I think I got to the point. I've been doing it nearly 40 years now, and you get to the point of travelling so much that you love the gigs, but the travelling and the eating at garages and all the rubbish that you eat starts to get you down. And then having it taken away from you for 2 years. I've got a whole new vigour and a whole new love for it again. I've done a few gigs over the past couple of years, but not a tour as such, so I can't wait to get my hands dirty.
When's the last tour you've done?
The last tour I did stand-up must have been 6 or 7 years ago. So I've done odd gigs, stand-ups and what have you, and a few plays and musicals, that sort of stuff. So to get out there and do this is so exciting. And also, I don't do any social commentary, there's nothing political. It's just a 13-year-old going mad. Because most people, as we get older, we forget to be kids again. Most kids, if you look at kids, 5-year-olds in the playground, they don't have the same pressures that we have because they're just kids. You can see a kid in the playground doing that for 10 minutes. They get 10 minutes out of that, and I've tried it myself, and I can get at least 10 minutes.
It's all right, isn't it?
Right? It does bring up, as I'm doing it, it's bringing up the chocolate, though, so I'm not going to do it anymore. But kids, and if you can still find that kid that's inside you, and that's what I try to do in stand-up, is just be a kid again.
Do you ever get nervous before going on stage?
I'm petrified every time.
Even now?
Even now, 40 years later, but that's what I like. I like being scared. Most people don't like being scared. I actually think we need to be scared because it's going really deep now, but I think like hundreds of thousands of years ago, we had saber-toothed tigers. Well, they weren't about them when we were, but big tigers, and you've got, like, boars. If you were going to catch your dinner with a spear and get a boar, and you kill a little boar, you go, oh, his mum's coming after you. Yeah, but then we had someone chasing after us. We don't have anyone chasing after us now.
You don't get no adrenaline anymore?
No, no adrenaline, which is why we need that. That's why we go... Roller coasters are so popular, because something inherent inside us needs to be scared. And I love that. That's why I learned to fly, right? Because of that reason. I'm scared of flying, so I thought, I'm going to learn to fly. And I beat that fear. Nobody will come with me, though.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
because that's like... It's one thing to say, I'm scared of flying, I'll take some therapy or lessons.
No,
but you actually just went, I'll learn how to fly.
Yeah, I've got a pilot's licence, but no one will come...
I'll come with you.
People won't even sit on the same settee as me, right?
Why, are you a really bad pilot or something?
No, I'm really good, but in my voice that comes out, you know, hello, sir, Captain speaking here. Don't hit the nuts, they're out of date, you know, and I'll be landing in a minute. People just don't take it seriously.
Where have you flown to?
The furthest I've ever gone, I went to Le Touquet in France. I remember I took off in Rochester, went to France, I had on omelette and chips on the beach, and I got back in time for X Factor.
Oh, stop it.
You was doing it at the time as well.
Oh, how amazing is that?
I've heard some people like that when they get into the pilot's license, the 2K somewhere they always like.
Yeah, they like to go there.
Land there.
Yeah. What's scary about it? Because it's a single-engine plane, and you take off from I take off from Rochester. You go over Dover, and then you've got a certain amount of time. If the engine fails, you can turn back. But it's like a 5-mile stretch of the
You can't do anything.
Where, you know, if you have an engine failure, you can't get back and you're not going to make it to France. So for that 5 miles, you're bottling it. You really are. Oh, just keep going, just keep going, keep going.
Oh, my
and it's the adrenaline that I love about it.
Joe, can we talk a bit about your books? Because you've done sort of, I guess they're like little novellas, are they?
Yeah, what they are, they're short stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, once again, it comes back to being scared. I like being scared. And I got run over when I was a kid, when I was 13. I missed a year of school. Spent a year basically on the settee because my plaster was right on the hip here, plaster went up to my chest. And my mum and dad go to bed quite early, and my sisters and my brother would be in bed. And every night there'd be these horror films on, and I couldn't turn the telly off because I couldn't get up. So I had my crutch, and I just, because there's no remotes in those days, do that. And my mum had these old antique dolls, all her glass eyes, and I'd swear
staring at you.
I swear the eyes had moved and what have you. And they used to give me the willies, and it just, and also I read Dracula then.
Yeah.
And in the book Dracula, he actually moved to Purfleet in Essex, which is near where I lived. And once my leg got better, I went round Purfleet, a place called the Carfax Estate, and I knocked on people's doors. It's a council estate then. I knocked on people's doors and asked if they'd seen Dracula. They just thought I was off my head. But they're very scary, and they're not for kids.
Of Mice and Wolfie, yeah, so it's adult, horror.
Yeah.
Joe Pasquale. But now you're doing your first proper novel, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
A little bit about that. It's because Whitby is where Dracula actually comes down to it on a ship called the Demeter, and he moves down to Purfleet. And it's Whitby. Have you been to Whitby? You must have been to Whitby.
No, I've never been.
Oh, you should go to Whitby.
Gorgeous.
They have a goth festival there as well. Everybody dresses up with all this, like Dracula stuff. It's a fantastic atmosphere there. And so basically, this story is going to be about. It's called The Fake Vampires of Whitby, but that's just a working title. And it's all about these people that want to become vampires, and they dig up this body, and it works out it's a real vampire, but it's a bit sorry for its state there. And they basically revive this vampire, and they infect all of Whitby. They all become the whole city of town of Whitby.
That sounds amazing.
Well, I can't. Well, come talk to us about that when you finished it as well. And best of luck with the tour. The new normal, 40 years of CAC.
Yeah, it is.
On the 28th of July. Cheers, Joe.
It's 40 years of CAC.